So if you use social media, especially in 2023 going forward, I believe we are all trying to create content. I mean, if you are a content creator, we're all trying to create content. And the biggest question is, what type of content should I create? How do I build my brand? Especially if you are just starting out in 2023. How do I build a strong brand? How do I draw people to my brand? How do I draw people to my digital page? How do I create a strong personal brand? Hey there, my name is Nthanda Manduwi and I'm a digital media specialist / digital entrepreneur from Malawi, currently based in Manhattan, New York. So I started a series on personal branding and digital branding. I really wanted to do work in that area because I was working on my own personal brand and I felt that there was so much I was learning that I could be able to share with an audience on how we can create better brands for ourselves, but also creating value for other people online. So I started that around 2020, I think. Should have been like 2020 or 2019. And then shortly after that, my organization, my foundation in Malawi was awarded a grant to do the same type of training, but like in person. So I had to set up a tech hub and basically start that business in person, in real life, no longer on YouTube. So I kind of forgot about this series and I just kind of stopped creating this content. But I'm back to it now because I'm no longer in the operations of my business, completely separate. I'm now in New York. I'm employed by another organization. So I kind of have a little bit of bandwidth to actually be able to teach and share what I know with you guys. So picking up from where we left, I was reading up for my personal interest as well on how to create, a strong brand. So I found I was helping a friend. I was helping a friend who is trying to break into the digital space and they're trying to create a personal brand for themselves. So I was doing a little bit of research for them to help them, create this strong personal brand for themselves online. And I came across first was the 5 A's of branding, and then after that I found the 5 B's of branding, and then I found 5 C's. So I think we have the A's, B's, C's, and that's the thing about digital media. It's evolving all the time, that there is so much to be said and there is so much to be taught about what works and what doesn't work. I'm going to share a little bit about what has worked for me, so I'm going to give some real life examples, but that's not conclusive. There is so much more and there's so many things that still work out there. I'm just going to share the few that have worked for me. So I really liked these 5 A's of branding and I wanted to share them with you today. So number 1 was authenticity. Now, as a human being, I get complimented by people who know me in real life, in person, that I'm one of the most authentic people that they know. And I realize I am that way because I've kind of always been a little bit of a creative, and that has manifested from me personally in always putting myself out there, and I no longer maybe have the anxiety I had before about what it means to be out there, maybe creating some image that's not true to me. I feel like for the most part, I'm actually quite real, so like people know, and I always say this to people, say what you mean and mean what you say. And the people who know me in real life, or maybe some even online, know that I'm pretty authentic and I'm quite real, right? So they know this about me, and that helps them trust me. Like there is situations even in real life where people just come to me and they just tell me their deepest stories, and they're like, you know what, I feel like I'm not going to be judged by you. I feel like I'm going to be seen by you. So people are drawn to people that are authentic, whether it's in real life or online. So you want to have authenticity to your brand. You want to have some realness to your brand. When you're performing, when you're giving away like small parts of yourselves that are kind of real but not really, people can see through that. So that may make them not be drawn as much to your brand. So you want to be as authentic as you can be. Number 2 is authority. So in any field that you're in, whether you make meals, like you make homemade food, which I love content about food, whether it's about fitness, like you want people to follow your channel because you aspire to fitness and you're trying to create this perfect body and all of that, you want to become a voice of authority in your field. For example, my chosen field of authority, the space that I want to be in is business and entrepreneurship, business economics, because that's a space that I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate about this space because I'm a creative, and when I was in undergrad, I remember thinking I want to work in the creative sector. And coming into the creative sector, you realize there are no jobs. Why are there no jobs? Because there are no businesses that exist in this field. And I realized creating a business is not as easy as I thought it would be. And it's not just a one-man operation. It's better if we work together. So I've kind of learned a lot about creating business, not just from experience, but even in the classroom. So I'm currently pursuing my Master of Science in Entrepreneurship. I have learned so much in experience, but also at the same time, in the classroom, learning about what actually running a business means, the business economics, So there is so much that there is to be learned in different fields. And if you're going to be in any field and you want to be a voice in that field, you want to have some authority, you want to have something backing you up. Do you have 10 years of experience? And say it out, be proud of it. Say, I have worked in this space since 2013. This is my true experience. I have worked in this space since 2013. And if you are counting, this is 10 years of me evolving with digital media. I have seen us come from where WordPress was a very, generic type of engine to being something that is just absolutely incredible, and we can use it to build very complex sites. So that's something you talk about, and you talk about your experience. If you are fitness and you've lost 70 pounds, talk about that you know how to lose 70 pounds to get to a place where you're healthy and you're eating healthier. And these are just examples of fields that you can be in. You can be in fashion, you can be in cuisine, any type of field, but you want to have some sort of authority and be able to clearly communicate that. Number 3 is aspiration. So people follow people on social media because they aspire to their content. I mean, some people follow you because you're their friend, right? But if you're trying to have a brand that has influence beyond your circle, beyond your community, you want to position yourself as something people can aspire to. If you're a food creator, can you create food content that makes people want to follow you for this specific type of content? Do you represent the type of food that they want to see, the type of food that they want to be creating? If you are a fitness creator as well, you want to, if it's your body, if it's your physique, if it's just the way you eat, are you creating a lifestyle and are you presenting it on social media or in digital media as something that people can aspire to? Think about that. These people follow thousands of people, right? So when somebody clicks on your page and there is 1,000 other people, why should they click follow on your page? Why should they add that, new page to the rest of the people that they follow? So that aspiration factor will really, really set you apart. And number 4, and quite close to aspiration, is affinity. I am a deep believer in attracting, not chasing. So if you can create content of value, you will attract an audience for yourself. You will attract people that can be drawn to the type of content that you create, as opposed to begging people like, oh, let's do a follow train, guys. Let's follow each other. And there's nothing wrong with that type of approach. But if you want to create a strong personal brand, that's not really how you create it, because it's not just a game of numbers. It's actually about inspiration. It's actually about, having that sort of influence. So if you want to have influence, you want to attract. You don't want to chase. You want people to follow your page because they're motivated by the content that you create. I follow food creators. When I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I'm so bored, I don't want to have breakfast. And then I click on Instagram and I see somebody create, and I'm like, okay, damn, I'm gonna make some French toast. So you want to have that affinity where people are actually drawn to your content and they come to your page. They actually search for you. They don't just run into you on their timeline. When you go missing, they miss you. That's the affinity that you want to have. You want people to be drawn to your brand. And the last one, number 5, my favorite, is artisanal. So you want to have a creative edge to your brand. If whether you're creative or not, actually, in whatever field, because in this digital media space, there's a lot of media that's being churned out all the time. When I think of the time that we started, like when I started in 2013 and all of that, there were very few creators. So it was very easy to be set apart. Like I got my first 10,000 followers, I think by 2015. And that was a pretty big deal back then. But as we've grown, we've seen that, okay, so some people have kind of been completely left behind and other people have grown to build really incredible brands. Other people have, and growth is so different for each and every individual. Some people, growth has been having millions of followers. Some are just like comedians and they just make funny content and they just have that affinity to them. And you can think of people like Trevor Noah, who went to host the Daily Show, which was just incredible and amazing. For some people, it's building great businesses like I have myself. Building great businesses. Growth looks so different for each and every individual. And as we speak of growth, you need to determine what you want to be. What does growth look like for you? Is it more readers on your blog? Is it more subscribers on your YouTube channel? Is it, for example, I create YouTube content because people have been asking me to create this content, but my primary mode of sharing has been in the past Instagram, and currently I'm trying to grow my Facebook, and I also use Twitter a lot. So you need to think about what does growth look like for you, and what value are you creating in those platforms? Are you creating something that people can aspire to, something that people can learn from? When you create this platform and you have a creative edge, whether that creativity is just in the videos you create, the reels you create, and I think it's hard, but like if you can, stop looking outside and start looking within. And I'll create a whole different video about that, like finding your X factor and, getting rid of all the zzz and all the boring aspects of your brand. So I'll create more content. I want to take this series forward. but find your voice, find your voice and find your creative edge and make that really meaningful and something that people can relate to and derive value from. So this is just me jumping back into this content that I did start in 2020, I believe, which is the DigiSavvy brand. Actually, the DigiSavvy brand grew in a totally different direction, which is now a whole digital skills training platform. If you'd like to benefit from that, it's digisavvy.org. We offer digital skills training courses, which are available for free to anybody that wants to take them. This is funded by different organizations, so you can take courses there. There's some courses by me and courses by so many different ICT specialists around Africa, helping digitize Africa. So you can check that out and actually benefit from that. So I am jumping back into this content, trying to create this series, sharing any tips. If you have anything you want me to talk about, something I can help you with, feel free to let me know and I'll try to create a video answering your specific queries. I hope you like the content. I hope you find it helpful and you learned something new. If you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Follow me on social media, same handle across all platforms, Nthanda Manduwi, at Nthanda Manduwi. Let's stay in touch. Let's interact. I'll be seeing you very soon. Until then, stay kind.